Through ancient times, Yi Yun inherited a manor and casually raised a big yellow dog to guard the house. He fed a few chickens and kept them for laying eggs and eating meat. I also took in an honest servant to see the gate. I'm free to hunt and farm. Leisure and contented. But he didn't know that this was actually a desolate world. The crops grown in one's own field are innate spiritual roots, and the chickens raised are true phoenixes. The dog guarding the house is a saint. That honest servant, even more so, is the groundbreaking Pangu. Just as Yi Yun was enjoying a peaceful time, the despairing Tongtian, who had just experienced the destruction of the 10,000 Immortals Formation and the long-yeared Dingguang Immortal Rebellion, happened to break in. From then on, the flood and famine were completely chaotic. Chapter 1. Accidental Entry into the Manor, Beyond the Existence of Saints. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, changing from ancient to modern times. The flood and famine do not remember the year. Since the founding of Pangu, countless years have passed through the calamities of ferocious beasts, dragons, demons, and witches. The flood and famine have once again brewing a catastrophe. Its name is Fengshen. Fate is the destruction of the ancient demon court, and Tian was ordered by Daozu Hongjun to establish the heavenly court again, urgently in need of replenishing living beings. Therefore, the sages discussed and drafted a list of deities. Truly teach and become a deity. Nowadays, under the siege of the four saints of Taishang, Yuanshi, Jian, and Zhuandi, Tongtian has successively set up the Zhu Xian formation and the 10,000 Immortals Formation, but it is difficult to withstand the overall trend of the heavenly way. Jiejiao Wanxian has fallen, but only the creatures on the list of deities still have a trace of remaining souls, waiting for the deity to be bestowed. Tongtian wanted to urge the six-soul banner to make a final move, but unexpectedly, China Dingguang Immortal rebelled against the sect and had to hastily retreat. This catastrophe of heaven and earth is gradually coming to an end. At the same time, a corner in the wilderness. The green mountains stretch endlessly. At the foot of the mountain, a leisurely sigh suddenly echoed, as if carrying a hint of melancholy. Spring has passed and autumn has arrived, it has been 3 years. That is a young man, with a handsome face but a bit lazy. At this moment, he sat on the rocking chair, one hand hanging down, gently caressing a big yellow dog, muttering to himself something. Woo! That big yellow dog seemed to enjoy its owner's touch, constantly wagging its tail and occasionally giving a soft call, indicating its existence. As you can see, this is an estate. In front of the yard, there is a small river flowing down the mountain. It seems endless. Beside the small river, there are several cultivated fields filled with crops. Beside the fields, there are also some open spaces enclosed by fences, where a few little hens leisurely bask in the sun. At the forefront is a willow tree, which looks like it has been around for some time. Countless willow branches hang down and sway in the wind. Under the willow tree, there was a figure like a withered tree sitting quietly. All of this is like a paradise in the world. Yi Yun is actually a traveler. He is not sure why he is here, but after opening his eyes again, he has already arrived here. Helpless, Yi Yun could only go with the flow. Fortunately, he is not without everything, not only possessing the system, but also inheriting a manor. Having nothing to do with farming can be considered leisurely. So, time passed, and in the blink of an eye, 3 years had already passed. Due to system limitations, Yi Yun cannot leave this estate too far, at most wandering around. However, in recent years, he has also gained a general understanding of his own situation. He has come to ancient times. Although I don't know the specific era, it doesn't matter much anymore. Anyway, I don't see many living things all year round. Apart from keeping a dog, there is only one servant left. Oh. There are also a few little hens left to lay eggs. These were originally in the estate, and after Yi Yun inherited the estate, he naturally recognized him as the master. As for the system, apart from the initial period, there was no movement at all. Yi Yun almost forgot about having such a thing. Is it all the same? Ding. The system is activated, please explore the specific functions on your own. Just as many thoughts flashed through Yi Yun's heart, a cold warning sound suddenly came to his ear, which made him slightly stunned. System. This system that has been silent for almost 3 years, why is there suddenly something moving now? Perhaps something has happened. At the same time. On the other side. Tongtian is very confused now. Not long ago, in that realm card pass, he set up the 10,000 Immortals Formation, intending to compete against the 4 saints with his own strength. But in the end, it was still a big defeat. Zhejiao Wanxian has fallen, and even this saint, he, has to hastily retreat. At that time, Tongtian had only one thought in his heart, which was to repeat the earth fire and feng shui, and open up the world again. Double loss is always better than one's own disastrous defeat. But not long ago, he swept over the sky and suddenly felt an unprecedented pressure, causing him to fall from mid-air. At that moment, the whole sky was a bit dumbfounded. He is at least a saint, although he was defeated in the 10,000 Immortals Formation, and even the strongest 4 sword of the Immortal Slayer was lost. But after all, saint is saint. Looking at the vast expanse, who can make him, as a saint, eat his food? Is it because the Taoist ancestor has come? In just an instant, a thought flashed through Tongtian's mind, struggling with how to face the Taoist ancestor, but he never saw any figure. Due to the seemingly limited power here, Tongtian had no choice but to reluctantly walk forward. At the same time, Tongtian was still speculating that perhaps it was not the appearance of the Taoist ancestor, but rather that he might have broken into some forbidden areas of the wilderness. After all, although saints are truly supreme beings in the wilderness, they are not without taboos. At the very least, when encountering immeasurable tribulations, even saints will suffer. Nowadays, although it is not an immeasurable calamity, it is also a rare catastrophe. It is not difficult to understand that something unusual has happened. But even though there is speculation in my heart, I have lost my strength, and even Tongtian has some confusion. At this moment, Tongtian saw a manor not far away. Faintly, you can also see a figure under a willow tree in front of the estate. This left him stunned. Creatures. In this place where even saints are greatly restricted, a seemingly ordinary creature appears, which slightly shakes Tongtian's heart. Who is he? Is it the founder of Taoism? In an instant, a thought flashed through Tongtian's mind. After all, only Daozu could have such terrifying strength. But in an instant, Tongtian realized that if it were the Taoist ancestor, there was no need to be mysterious, just appear directly. But if it weren't for Daozu, who would it be? Click. Just as many thoughts flashed through Tongtian's heart and he hesitated for a moment, the figure that was originally sitting quietly under the weeping willow suddenly opened its eyes and glanced lightly at the place where it was. Very light. It never stirred up any waves. But at this glance, Tongtian was completely bewildered. What kind of gaze was that, as if it contained endless power, and the world seemed to dim in front of this gaze? The light of the beginning of heaven and earth is flowing. Everything turned into the purest substance under this gaze. And then disappear. Tongtian felt a surge of confusion in his mind. Saint no. This is an existence beyond the saints. Honghuang, when did such an existence exist? After a brief shock, a thought couldn't help but emerge in Tongtian's mind. He couldn't understand when such a terrifying creature appeared in the flood and wilderness. Do Daozu know? Or, in other words, this is actually the layout of the Taoist ancestor behind the scenes. Come in. Master, perhaps I want to see you. Just as Tongtian was lost in thought, a vast divine thought suddenly rushed into his mind. That was a voice as majestic as the roar of a great road. But after understanding the meaning behind this statement, Tongtian was indeed stunned. Master. P.S. New book release, seeking support. Chapter 2 Yun. This Tongtian is also a pitiful person. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 3. The Shockwave of the Heavenly Sky. Saints are better than dogs. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 4. The wind is Xiao Xiao Shi, the water is cold, and Tong Tian intends to leave. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 5. The Rise of the West. Ambition to lead and lead. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 6. Tongtian vs Yuanshi. What if the sage's fruit is lost? You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 7. The Power of Qingping Sword and the Doubts in Tongtian's Heart. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 8. Angry Primordial Heavenly Sovereign, Pangu banner appears. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 9. Overwhelming Defeat. Snatching the List of Deities. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text. Chapter 10. Is the Pangu banner useless? Yuanshi Tianzun is going to work hard. You are listening at novel full.audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.